What's going on, everybody? RJ Ochoa here from SB Nation's bloggingtheboys.com. Hope all is well wherever you are. We hope you're happy, safe, healthy. And I know the Cowboys played on Saturday night, which made Monday kind of a boring day. Putting together this recorded video for it, no live show, just because kind of a chill day. The Cowboys got back to Dallas late Saturday night / early Sunday morning, however you want to look at it. Obviously, they're getting ready for their final preseason game this week on Friday night against the Seattle Seahawks. They have roster cuts coming up this week. They have the big roster cuts coming up in what feels like a week. So there's a lot going on, and that's what makes the fact that nothing really happened on Monday kind of strange. Now, we are on the lookout for roster cuts. The Cowboys do have to make a trim this week, so we'll keep you updated at bloggingtheboys.com, here on the channel, on our podcast network, on all of our socials. So make sure you're giving us a follow, a subscription, wherever the case may be. But we do promise you something each and every day here on the Blogging the Boys YouTube channel. So we wanted to kind of kick something around. I've seen this, floating around. I've seen it, having some people all up in a tizzy. The NFL Top 100. To be straight up, I do not take the NFL Top 100 all too seriously. Once upon a time, I did. I love the spirit of the idea. If you are unaware, the NFL Top 100 is a list. It is a show, technically, that the NFL Network puts together, where they source, they have a polling period. They have a voting option. The idea, the way the NFL sells this, is it is a list voted on by the players. They rank all the players in the NFL, so they're allowed to say it's a list of the players voted on by the players. The problem is not every player in the NFL votes on this thing. So, yes, it's voted on by the players, but it's not necessarily representative of the entire player pool as a whole. Another problem is it is something that players are asked to vote on before the season's even over. Maybe you're asked to vote on it after a certain player has like 1,000 yards or something. I don't know. You get the point. The other problem is this is generally, if you follow the NFL Top 100, an example of recency bias. You generally see players who had huge seasons the year before, who came onto the scene, and players who were hurt or lost for the season that are still very good are generally not a part of it. So it's kind of weird. Also, if we're just totally putting our cards on the table, a lot of times players vote for their friends, for their teammates. And so the sample does get muddied a little bit as we sit. Today is Monday, August 22nd, 2022. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling 22. Anyway, the Cowboys have 5 players who have been named. There are 80 players who have been revealed on the NFL Top 100. You do not see Micah Parsons' name on your screen, but the NFL is set to announce the top 20 players this coming weekend. So pretty safe to assume that Micah is a part of that mix. But again, by this list standards, this list definition, CeeDee Lamb, the 95th best player in the NFL, Tyron Smith, the 92nd best player, Zach Martin coming in at 68, one short of nice, I know. Dak Prescott, that was what really kind of upset some people, or depends what side of that argument you fall on, came in at 44th. Meanwhile, Trayvon Diggs coming in at 23rd after he led the NFL in interceptions last year. He was higher than his brother, Stephon Diggs. For anybody who's keeping score at home, I'm sure that the Diggses are keeping score at home. But again, it's awesome. It's great to see. It's cool. Ultimately, I'm happy that players on the Cowboys are getting attention, getting recognition. In Trayvon's case, getting unfairly criticized for every single waking thing. Trayvon is seriously the most disrespected player in the NFL. It's really unfortunate the way I think people tend to lean into the Cowboys-ness of it all. You look at, I'm sure you see, or whoever you are, wherever you are, I'm sure you saw last week the poor play that Trayvon had during the joint practices against the Chargers. The Chargers social account tweets it out, and all of a sudden, it's just wildfire. It's Trayvon this, Trayvon that, whatever. He is the ultimate example that people are trying to make out of in the NFL today, and it sucks. Let players be players. Like, we have our fun, but, if you're going to bag on Trayvon Diggs, have a legitimate reason to do so. But anyway, a lot of people, let's get this list back up here one more time, just so we can completely reference it. A lot of people have issues. CeeDee's too low, Tyron's too low, Dak's too low, blah, blah, blah. If you care about my opinion, I think CeeDee's kind of fairly ranked. I mean, honestly, I think he's a top 100 player. It's a weird way to put it. We haven't seen him truly evolve to that alpha status week in and week out. We have seen it in different moments. There's no question about it, which is why we're so excited about him in 2022. That I can get with. Tyron Smith at 92. Tyron is arguably the best left tackle in the NFL when he's healthy. The fact is his health is a question mark, so I get that you have to include that in your assessment. Zach Martin is maybe the best guard in the NFL. I know there's some Quentin Nelson truthers out there, but he should be higher than that. Dak Prescott is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. I know he has his haters. I know the comments are going to be like, Dak sucks, blah, blah, whatever. No, Dak Prescott, if you're asking for my personal opinion, I did a TikTok, Instagram reel, and we did a YouTube short about this. I would take Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes, this isn't the order, but Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes, and Josh Allen over. Oh, and I guess you could throw in Tom Brady. Like, if, whatever. It's fine. Tom Brady, fine. Those are the 4 quarterbacks I would take ahead of Dak Prescott today. All right, if I have to win a game right now, Justin Herbert, I'm good. Give me Dak. Joe Burrow, I'm good. Give me Dak. Big fan of Herbert, big fan of Burrow, but I will take Dak Prescott over them. So the fact is, even if you would take Joe Burrow or Justin Herbert or both over Dak Prescott, Dak is at the very worst like the 7th best quarterback in the NFL. If you are the 7th best quarterback in the NFL, you are not the 44th best player in the NFL. I don't care who you think the 7th best quarterback in the NFL is, whether you think it's Dak, whether you think it's, I don't know, Matthew Stafford, Kyler Murray, Kirk Cousins, whatever. Kirk is underrated, people. I'm telling you, but that's a different discussion. Whoever you think it is, the 10th best quarterback in the NFL is higher than the 44th overall player, which is why this list is weird and why this list is a weird exercise. It's interesting. It generates discussions like these because different positions have different values. The honestly 20th best quarterback is probably in the top 100 players in the NFL because of the positional value that the quarterback position brings. So that being said, Dak Prescott 44 too low, Trayvon Diggs 23rd. I mean, he's an amazing player. But again, when you factor in the quarterbacks and the positional value of things, you can make an argument, and this isn't me arguing against Trayvon. I'm just, following my own logic here that Trayvon is too high. Ultimately, all right, these are all phenomenal players. We're all very fortunate that they play for our favorite team in the Dallas Cowboys. And I think and obviously, again, you're probably saying, where's Micah? Where's Micah? I don't know how you would have missed me saying it earlier, but I did say at the beginning of this video that the NFL is set to announce numbers 20 through 1, the top 20 players this weekend. Very safe assumption that Micah Parsons is going to be part of that mix. So if we make that safe assumption, that would give the Cowboys 6 players here: CeeDee Lamb, Tyron Smith, Zach Martin, Dak Prescott, Trayvon Diggs, and Micah Parsons. I will ask you, are those not the 6 best players on the Dallas Cowboys? This is how I was thinking about this, because I don't care what you rank them, right? If I just asked you to sit there wherever you are and rank the 6 best players on the Dallas Cowboys, who would it be? Would it not be that list? I mean, and again, however you're saying, whoever's number 1, whoever's number 2, whatever, but if I had you sit down and rank the 6 best players on the Dallas Cowboys, I think it would be this list. And so in that sense, I think the list kind of got this right. It's a weird exercise and it's a weird process of how we got here, but I think that the list is correct in the players, if that makes sense. Last week, one of our phenomenal writers at bloggingtheboys.com, Danny Phantom, had an exercise where he ranked all 85 at the time. Again, you might be watching this video after roster cuts, all 85 players on the Cowboys in terms of best to worst, most to least valuable, et cetera, et cetera. Danny's a great follow on Twitter at DannyPhantom24. So this is his list, not mine. I have some qualms with it, but I like the spirit of the exercise. And Danny's top 10, we'll just kind of roll through it here: Micah Parsons, Dak Prescott, Zach Martin, CeeDee Lamb, DeMarcus Lawrence, Trayvon Diggs, Tyron Smith, Zeke Elliott, Dalton Schultz, Michael Gallup. We'll throw in Tony Pollard and Jaron Kearse to get us up to 12. All right, so of the 6 that we talked about, the only one, if we look at Danny's 6 as an example here, the only one that Danny has that is not in the NFL Top 100 is DeMarcus Lawrence. And like I said, the NFL Top 100 is kind of a recency bias sort of thing. I mean, again, Micah is amazing, but he stormed onto the NFL scene a year ago, right? Like, there are a lot of players who had amazing years a year ago. Joe Burrow, you could sit here and debate where you would rank him among NFL quarterbacks, but he's going to be high on this list because he went to the Super Bowl, had an amazing postseason, things like that, and even postseason, just run up to the postseason. So there is some recency bias. There's some prisoner of the momentness happening here all throughout the voting process, which is, again, why the list is a weird thing. But I do think it is interesting. At the very least, it's worth talking about. That's what we're doing here. We're talking Cowboys, all right? I think the list has the 6 best Cowboys. All right, I love DeMarcus Lawrence, but if you told me that you wanted to say he's the 7th most important player, 7th best player on the Dallas Cowboys, importance is a different thing. We're talking best. I think that might not be unfair. If you told me the 6 best players on the Cowboys are Micah Parsons, Dak Prescott, Zach Martin, CeeDee Lamb, Trayvon Diggs, and Tyron Smith, I think that you would be right. Maybe you think DeMarcus Lawrence is him, but who are you bumping out? If I'm telling you have to keep 6, who are you taking out to say DeMarcus Lawrence is better than them? DeMarcus Lawrence is very good. The sack thing is overblown. He's an awesome player. But I think that the list is correct. And again, if we factor in the time that Tank missed last year, I kind of get it just a little bit. This whole exercise is very interesting when you look at it. It's amazing that Jaron Kearse is already up there at 12 overall. Anthony Brown, finally somebody putting some respect on my boy's name. Dorrance Armstrong at 14 is a little bit of an interesting move, needless to say. Tyler Smith already at 18. Fun exercise that Danny Phantom helped inspire. But I'm not advocating for the NFL Top 100. I'm not defending the NFL Top 100, but I do think that they did wind up getting, assuming Micah Parsons makes the list, and he will, the 6 best players on the Cowboys. So in that sense, the list is kind of correct. Now, the ranking, we can sit here and quibble over all we want, but, we're all going to disagree no matter what. That's just kind of the way this whole thing goes. But I thought that was a fun discussion on a slow news day. We wanted to make sure we had something here for you to discuss. So what do you think? Let me know. My name is RJ Ochoa. You can hit me up on Twitter or Instagram at RJ Ochoa. You can follow me on TikTok at RJ.Ochoa. If you want to send me an email, you can, rj.ochoa@sbnation.com, or you can always leave me a comment down below, and we'll get to those as well. So with all of that being said, things kind of pick back up on Tuesday. Like we said, Cowboys playing on Friday. We got roster cuts coming, so make sure you subscribe here to the Blogging the Boys YouTube channel so you don't miss a single thing. But for now, we bid you adieu. We hope you have a great Monday, a great Tuesday, a great every day for the rest of your lives. And thanks for hanging out.